So today I'm going to be doing a turbo muffler delete. It's on a 2022 Volkswagen GTI. It's an MK8, obviously. I've seen a lot of videos before I got into this. Just curious always to what's out there. A lot of these guys are making this harder than it needs to be. This honestly should be like a 20-minute, maybe 30 at the most minute job. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Pair of pliers, Torx 25, 27, and 30. I think I haven't checked yet, so we'll get into that when we get into it. But flathead screwdriver, and maybe a 7mm or a smaller socket. You know, just for a hose clamp kind of deal. That's it. This should be very straightforward. So hopefully this will help some of the guys that were looking at the other guys like, what is this knucklehead doing? So we'll go ahead and get into it. All right, there's not a lot going on, so just real quick, this is all I got. Just a few things that I'm going to need. Very simple. I get a lot of my parts from BMP Tuning. I like those guys. They're always good to me there. So this is actually the part that we're going to install. Let's get rid of these. We don't really need to see those. This is a race line product that BMP offers. Pretty straightforward. We're just going to have 3 Torx bolts that hold this thing in there, I think. This is obviously my first time doing this, but again, this isn't rocket science. Changing out the turbo muffler. Not going to add a lot of horsepower. It's going to add a little bit on your low end because it's not going to constrict as much. It's going to produce a little more compression. So it is going to add a little bit of more power. But what it's really going to do, it's going to let you hear your turbo as opposed to just feeling it. Because right now, you can't hear the dang thing at all. Now, some of us like to feel special and like to be able to hear our motors perform. So it's the only other part that's in there. Like I said, straightforward. Not a lot of going on here. So the first thing we're going to do, I went ahead and did the first step. It's just a pair of pliers. This is just a simple compression ring that holds this on. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to remove this whole piece right here. And then we'll move on to the next step. I wanted to show you this real quick. This just pulls right off from here. When we put this back together, we're going to make sure that this hose clamp that's on here is accessible probably over here to where we can get to it. Factory was nice and they put it all the way on the bottom facing the inside of the motor, which isn't a real big deal. But for somebody that's, you know, you never know what you're going to be doing, simplify. Make life easier. Doesn't have to do everything the hard way. So, okay, obviously we have the first piece out of the way. Next, we're gonna go ahead and remove the breather box because it's gonna be a lot easier if we can move this pipe down here. There's a plastic tube. It feeds into the front of the turbo delete there. So if we can take this out, we can get this out of the way, and that's going to give us a little bit more room, and it's going to make it easier. So right down here is where you're located. This is where you're looking for. Again, 3 simple little bolts. Now to remove this bit, we've got a Torx 25 here. We're going to just throw that on. Quickly remove all of these. And then we'll have a couple of hoses, couple of breather hoses here that are going to come off. They're going to be real simple too. So once we get all this out of the way, we'll be ready to rock and roll on to the next piece. All right, all of our Torx are out. I see a lot of guys struggling with this. This is easy. You get this big ring in the back, squeeze it. That's it. That's all. I've seen guys prying on these with pliers, flathead screwdrivers. Unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary. You should never be forcing anything unless it's something that's been stuck on there for a while. So everything should come apart, especially on a 2022 or newer. It's a new car. Nothing's really heated up a whole lot. Nothing's stuck on there. So I'm gonna slide that out of the way. Let's pull this beautiful, nice, clean filter out of here. That's obviously pretty new still. Now, I've had this car for almost a year now. I'm not a daily driver. I'm a truck driver, so I'm never home. So my car is going to probably be a little bit cleaner and a lot less miles than the average guy. I'm just sitting under 6,000 miles after almost a whole year. So next, we're going to remove this box. It looks like we will have to take this piece off. 1, 2. That's it. Bingo bango. Alright, it's just these 2 screws here. What I do see is there's 2 slot clips in the back and 1 in the front. So looks like we just pull that up. Slide this back towards the front of the vehicle so you don't break off these little clips right here. Break those off and you're going to be sorry. Not a big deal, it's not the end of the world, but it is going to cause you some headache in the long run. So we'll go ahead, pull this hose off here, just quickly grab it with some pliers. Move that back. Looks like I didn't move it back far enough. Help if I wasn't using my grandpa's pliers from 1953. Now with hoses, generally they're stuck. Twist and it breaks it loose. You can see that this has coolant in it, so we're not going to want to leave that open. I'll have to get some clamps and clamp that off. Well, naturally, like a dum-dum, I went ahead and put that back. I don't think I need to take that off. So these just pull and pop right off. It's just on there with a little bit of compression. Pick it up from the back of the vehicle. Roll it right out. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So as you can see on the bottom here, this is just a little breather filter. So this is the hose I was talking about that's going to be in our way. We're going to go ahead and disconnect one side. We're going to take out this Torx right here. That looks like it's probably maybe a 30. So we can see here. Bingo. Torx 30. So far we've using a 25 and a 30. That looks like it's probably all it's going to take, providing we don't have something different back here, but we'll get to that here in a minute. We'll get this out of the way. Simplify our job. Alright, just one hose clamp, 7mm, slides it right off. Again, we're going to turn these to where they're more conducive to customer getting back at them, you know, in case we want to get in here again. You want to resell the car, put your muffler delete back in there, whatever it is you want to do. So yeah, this isn't going to move completely out of the way, but this is going to give us some space now. So instead of being stuck all the way up in this position, it's out of the way. So we'll go ahead and remove the other clamp. We'll pull off that piece of hose in there, and then we'll be ready to pull that muffler delete, or that muffler out of there. All right, we're ready to pull that out. I'm going to try not to be in the way of the camera. I can't make any promises. We've already turned it to break it loose, so we're just going to walk this thing off from here. And there we go. That piece is now out of the way. I'm going to show you something. I'll get this thing to work with me here. Look at the old piece. Constricts down. You want a nice even flow. Now granted, we're at the little bit bigger size than what we were originally. Fits right in there. A little bit, probably just a little stretch, but looks like we're about the same size. So we've got the same fluid size all the way through this. Again, airflow. You can't breathe and perform without oxygen, neither can your car.